Irashaimase! Hello and welcome to Fitaurus Kitchen. I'm your host, Chef Fitaurus. It's time once again for Shoot 'em Up Saturday, and on the menu this Saturday we have Blazing Star, the 1998 Neo Geo classic. What kind of taste will it have? Let's get cooking and find out. From developer Yume Kobo, Blazing Star is a direct sequel to the 1995 Neo Geo title, Pulstar, and between the two of them, this is definitely my favorite. This game is available on all major platforms currently, thanks to the Arcade Archive Neo Geo collection, so if you like what you see here, I highly encourage you check it out. Diving into the gameplay itself, we are first taken to our character select, where we're able to select between the 6 different ships. There's the Hellhound, the Windina, the Iustalum, the Peplos, the Dino 135, and the Dino 246, which is the ship from the original game, Pulstar, and also a Ferrari reference as well, in case you're interested. To start off, we'll go and play with the Windina, but we might possibly check out some of the other ships. The main differences between the ships, they have different speeds and weapons, as well as some other features that might make them defensive or more offensive. It just depends on what you're looking for. So, like Pulstar before it, Blazing Star is a horizontal scrolling shoot 'em up. We have the ability to fire our shot in a couple of different ways. We can simply tap our fire button for our main shot, or you can rapid fire it to get rapid fire. In the arcade this would be a little bit difficult, but having the ability to emulate it, we can turn on rapid fire ability in the menu and have a much easier time of it. So thank you Neo Geo Arcade Archive Collection for that. In addition to being able to use our weapon that way, we can charge it up, and this is where the real meat of the game comes into play. So each ship has a unique charge shot, and those charge shots can be quite powerful. They're also a core element to the scoring mechanic of the game itself. But there's an extra layer to the charge shot which makes Blazing Star unique. So when we charge our shot and we release it, we can do something that's called a charge break, where if we hit another button, then the charge shot basically transforms. It becomes something like a little bit different. In a lot of cases, the name is accurate in that the charge shot itself will break up. And in the case of the Windina here, the 3-way charge shot becomes like these homings where they when they hit, they'll explode and blow up into these little like barriers, which continue to deal damage. And you earn additional multipliers when you're using your charge shot. So if you're looking for high score, that's a great way to do it. So we've already made it to our first boss. One thing that I really like is just how bright and vibrant everything is in Blazing Star. The game uses pre-rendered graphics similar to ICOM Yume Kobo's other like shoot 'em ups, so like Pulstar, this title, and Prehistoric Isle 2, all kind of have like that similar look to it, but everything manages to go and remain pretty bright, especially when you're on a planet. Now, if you're going through some sort of space installation like this, not nearly as much so, but you get the idea. So there are several power-ups that we're also collecting throughout the course of the gameplay. We've got the main Ps, which do power up our weapon, a total of 3 levels to level 4. We have all these panels that spell lucky. If we collect those, we'll get big bonus points at the end of the game, or rather end of the stage. And then there's also bonus gems. Those are the blue gems. If we collect 8 of those, we'll increase the base score that they're worth. And then there's these flying angel things. When we collect those, we actually have an additional multiplier. And the multiplier changes depending on which color of rate up angel we get. I believe there's a ×2 and a ×4. I'm not sure if there are any others in addition to that. And those are basically the base mechanics that we have for Pulstar. Let's go ahead and take some intentional deaths, and we'll try out a different ship, just so we can go and show off a little bit more of what the game has to offer. You do get a little message when you die. Are you serious? Waking up? Hey, poor player! So let's show off the Dino 246. So this one is the defensive ship of the game. It's also the ship that you used in Pulstar. So our shots, we've got a couple satellites which rotate around the ship and kind of lock into place when we begin shooting. But the rapid fire, it doesn't seem to work quite right, as there are times where it'll change position even though we're still actively firing. So I kind of just attribute that to just a window in where the rapid fire isn't actually being held down. But its charge shot is just a big bolt which you can explode into a nice bomb that it hits actually a pretty wide spread of the stage. So we have almost an R-type like force in front of our ship, which will protect us from shots coming from the front, and the satellites will also protect us from shots coming from the top and the bottom. So this is truly the best defensive ship that the game has to offer. So there is some awesome English that's present throughout the course of Blazing Star, and you usually see those when you encounter the bosses. So not so much with this one, but the second boss, it's coming! Destroyed the space colony! Oh, that's terrible. We gotta take this guy out. So there we have it. Blazing Star served up for your enjoyment. So compared to the previous title, this is one that I absolutely adore. I love Blazing Star so much more than I do Pulstar. I definitely feel it's like a game that's like well worth your time. Whereas, although like notable for being the first Neo Geo title to use pre-rendered graphics, I don't think there's much else that I can really say about like Pulstar. It just kind of felt like slow, clunky, and a little bit hard. Whereas Blazing Star, I feel, is like much more accessible. It's brighter, faster, and just goes and feels like just has that like element of like fun to it. Also, it's possible to play it two-player simultaneous, and it just feels like great when played that way. So as far as like minus flavors are concerned, there are no life indicators for the boss. Some of them will go and like take damage throughout the course of the boss fights. So that's, you know, the minor complaint. And then, like, although the pre-rendered graphics are awesome and things are bright and colorful, sometimes I feel like the Neo Geo's lack of color just kind of held back a little bit of how the game could look. But on the plus side, we have the opposite of that, where the graphics are just amazing. You have these awesome detailed backgrounds, often with a lot going on. Then there's all 6 of the different ships that you can use, each with a different style of play. I really like it when you can change up your gameplay that much depending on what kind of fighters you choose to use. And it also has a huge impact on scoring as well, as the different charge shots have different ways of handling and will ultimately add to greater multipliers if you can use them correctly. And then yeah, just the scoring in general, all the different ways you can get multipliers and bonuses. It's really fun to try and master those kind of systems. Although, do get ready to go on here like the word bonus, 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 bonus over again, as these bonus jewels do pop up quite often. Alright, so Blazing Star, a solid recommendation from me. Alright, that should just about wrap it up for this week's episode of Shoot 'em Up Saturday. As always, I want to thank you so much for coming out and joining me this week, and I look forward to seeing you again next week.